ओके तो उससे
वाले
सर्च
ग्रुप
करना है।
में जाके मैसेज करें कि वो ज्वाइन करें, मीटिंग स्टार्ट हो रही है। आमीन। जाहिरा ईमन कोई है यहाँ पे?
मैं कर देती हूँ मैसेज।
शाहरम।
ओके।
हरम कौन से वाले ग्रुप में कह रही हो?
पार्टिसिपेंट्स वाले में एडिट हो या नहीं?
नहीं।
वेट।
मैंने कर दिया मैसेज पे पार्टिसिपेंट्स वाले में, तो थोड़ा सा
ओह
ना
परफेक्ट।
अच्छा सा कर दो।
ऑलराइट। लिंक रीशेयर कर देना था।
सभी आया या नहीं?
वो
ये
आए
सब
हुए
है।
थे।
ओके।
अच्छा गाइस, अब मैं स्पीकर को शेयर कर दूं। अब्दुल करीम।
एक मिनट
तो
करते हैं
वी आर
आप, फिर वो इंट्रोडक्शन वगैरह में तो लग ही जाए।
ओके। सो
हरम एक मिनट बात
वी आर
सुनो हरम।
एक्चुअली लाइव
सबसे
नाउ।
पहले सब।
Amen, we are
हाँ हाँ
live
हाँ।
to comment DM.
अच्छा। Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to the Grand CB Fest 2025 SCOF 101 Day. So we are gonna start with our ice-breaking session. So over to you, Kareem.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन, audible to you.
Yes,
And
yes.
just send in the plus signs in the chat box if I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. How are you all? This is Abdul Karim Shahbaz. I am the current Sialkot Medical College Local Council President and also part of SCOF's CB Fest Organizing Committee. I will be conducting a small icebreaker. Let's get to know each other. Okay, so I would be asking some questions, and you guys would be having only 1 minute to answer. Sorry, let's break it down. Only 30 seconds to answer. So be rapid. Okay, so what is your favorite color, everyone? Iman, Aisha, Iman. Oh, we have two Imans. Iman, Fiza, Mahnoor, Maria, Ahmad, Arshal, Sabi, Shazad, Tanya, Osama, and Zahira. Okay,
Blue.
so it's purple, green, black. Oh, black. We have two blacks here.
Purple.
We have again a purple. We have a blue also. Guys, I want everyone to answer. We want to see which color is the most popular. Okay, we have three blues now. Blue is popular now. यहाँ पे कोई दूसरे वाले colors नहीं है. Why don't we have any bright color here? Like, okay, we have a white. Nice. I was waiting for it. Purple again. Oh, I think, and that's too loud wala purple. Yeah, purple. And we have shocking thing. Oh, that's really shocking. Manu has two favorite, black and shocking thing. Okay, let's move ahead to our second question. What is your favorite destination?
MSA Pakistan.
Okay. Other than that, Bali. Okay, nice. Ahmed, Zahira, Fiza, Maria, Iman, Aisha, Sabi. Up, I want you all to get engaged in here. Kiran. Okay, what we're really asking, where is Kiran? Japan. Oh, yeah. I had a fan. Like I had like on my bucket list to go to Japan and go to the stationery store. Maldives, Kashmir, cherry blossom. Oh, my home. Oh, okay. Uh, stationery shops. Yes. Where is everyone? Aisha, the other Ayman, the Iman. I think Iman ने answer किया है. Okay, नहीं. Kashmir. Oh, I wish कि हमारी इस पर trip वहाँ जाए. Do we have participants? Active participant Osama. And the other Ayman again. Okay, Faisalabad. Faisalabad is a destination. Osama, seriously? The English countries are our dragon. Oh, okay. Who loves Faisalabad? Okay, Harem lives there, so Amsap lives there. Okay, that's why it's a destination. Okay, let's move ahead to our third question. Okay, perhaps Amsap knows that first. Okay, let's move to our third question. I want to ask everyone's favorite food. Okay, also like a guilty pleasure food, not a favorite food. What is your favorite guilty pleasure? Vegan ka bharta Manoj, seriously, it's a guilty pleasure. Okay, Amen is saying halwa puri. Okay, ramen noodles. Oh, this is something fancy, nice. Biryani, brownies. Oh, layers ki brownies. Nine juniors are guilty pleasure. So, do you eat them? Ramen, pizza, wasting time. Okay, we are having serious eye-opening here. Wasting time is a guilty pleasure. Okay, guys, I want everyone to answer. Jaldi, please. I mean, like, we only have 30 minutes to answer. Okay. Haram ka guilty pleasure, Haram's favorite destination, Haram's favorite food, Haram's favorite color is Amsap. We got it, Haram. Chocolate cake. Okay, like, do make it specific. Do you like dark chocolate or do you like milk chocolate cake? Okay, guys, it's a bit controversial question, but let's dive into it. If you would have any neurological disorder, what would it be? Depression, anxiety, ADHD, autism, OCD, OCD. Okay, maniac. Okay. Okay, Arub's answer. Milk chocolate. Schizophrenia. Okay. We got it, Haram. You're not here. You're with themselves in your schizophrenia era. ADHD. So exam all night to don't freak the hell out of me. I think it's we all have ADHD at some point. A neurodegenerative disorder. Sorry, a neurodivergent. Eating disorders. Okay. Where is everyone? Osama? Ayman? Let me see. Queenie Ara. Osama is the most, the well-paid person here. Probably one experience meaning disorder of bipolar disorder. Okay. Let me call out यहाँ पे active नहीं है. Pizza, I didn't read your message. Maria, Shehzad, Kadir, Sharipua, I would love if, yeah, I know you are our speaker, but if you could also dive into it. Tanya and Zahir. Okay. Okay, let's move ahead to our fourth question. Sorry, fifth question. Um, what is your favorite medical subject? Yes, since we're having SPOF, I won't be too surprised to see mid here. Aisha, pharma is your favorite? Okay, you're gonna ace it. Gynecology, gross anatomy अभी तक. Oh, cool. Biochem, even biochem is interesting. Arup biochem is interesting. Yeah, physio is really interesting to be honest. Okay, where, okay, let's move ahead to our. Okay, this would be our last question. Okay, biochem is a pookie if we read it from one book. Oh, you can't read biochem from one book. Okay, it's something that's a fact. It is very conceptual in like anatomy. Yeah, you can say that. Let's move ahead to our last question. What is your favorite show? It could be Pakistani, it could be Netflix one, it could be anything. Breaking Bad 9? COD. Okay, this is giving me a nostalgia. One Piece. Oh, we have anime fans here. Oh, cool. Good doctor. Okay, Zahira ne nahi बताया. Okay, so Harim's favorite show would be, I won't guess is MSA. MSA 101. MSA meetings are Harim's favorite show. House MD, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Interesting. Yeah, you guys have a very good taste in your shows and free time, I guess. Okay, folks, that was all from my side. I think I have engaged much people here and they're active. I hope they would be really active throughout the session as well. So thank you so much. That was all from my side. Over to you. Uh, over to you, Zahira or Iman.
Thank you, Cream. It's actually very fun listening you like this. And now moving to our speaker and the introduction of today's session. So, as I have welcomed you all, why not again? Welcome everyone to the Grand CB Fest 2025 SCOF 101 Day, part of the biggest annual online capacity building event of MSA Pakistan. I am Iman Mahmood, NPO, your host for today's session. Join us for these 2 days for SCOF Powerhouse lineup speaker divided into two sessions. As for today, we have one-on-one and tomorrow topic based. So, okay, so
Okay,
for
good
the
evening, everyone.
for the introduction of today's speaker, we have with us wonderful speaker of this session, Miss Maria Mavale, Secretary for the Standing Committee on Public Health 2023 and currently the National Public Health Officer of SCOF in Malawi as the National Public Health Officer leading a team of 10 members with a representative from Zimbabwe, Tanzania and Burkina Faso, and where we organize international webinars in collaboration with the Standing Committee on Reproductive Health. So over to you, Miss Maria.
Okay, thank you very much for the introduction, and thank you so much for the opportunity to present to you. So I guess I'll just have to dive in. So let's explore public health together. In this slide, we'll be looking at the overview of SCOF and public health, the initiatives and projects, the ways to get involved and make a difference. You can move on to the next slide. So what is SCOF? SCOF stands for the Standing Committee on Public Health, and it is part of the International Federation of Medical Students Association, also known as IFMSA. And SCOF was established as the Standing Committee on Health initially in 1952, but it later on got changed to the current name, which is now known as the Standing Committee on Public Health. And this establishment happened in 1983. Yes, so that's a bit of history on SCOF. So first of all, before we go to SCOF, I would like us to take a look into public health because basically SCOF is about public health and we need to know what public health is, the essential public health services, areas of focus of public health, and current public health issues so that as medical students we're able to engage and take part in what is happening in the field of public health. Yes, so public health is basically the art and science of preventing disease, prolonging life, and promoting health through the organized efforts of societies. So as you look at the definition, you see that public health isn't a one-man thing. It is something that is a teamwork thing. And it mainly focuses on prevention first, promotion, population focus, and then organized efforts in order to combat issues that are affecting the world at large. So you can move on to the next slide. So let's take a quick look into public health. So the key areas in public health include epidemiology, health systems, global health, health policy, environmental health, and social determinants. But before we move on to the next slide, I would like to explain more on what these areas mean. So epidemiology is basically about understanding the distribution and determinants of health-related events, diseases, or health-related characteristics among a population. So epidemiology as a field in public health looks at the distribution and determinants of health-related events in relation to people. And then the second area of focus in public health is health systems. So as we know, the field of health isn't only about people and just focusing on people alone, but it also focuses on other things like finances and delivery of healthcare services. So the health system covers all that. It studies the organization, financing, and delivery of healthcare services. And then moving on to the third area of focus, which is global health. So global health and public health are basically like the same thing, just that global health addresses health issues that transcend a more larger field. So it's like not focusing on a community or not focusing on one area, but focusing on the nation worldwide. So, for example, we can look at the issue of COVID. You see that it is an issue that affected almost the whole world. So that's basically what global health is about. And then we have health policies. In health policies, we look at analyzing and developing policies that impact healthcare access, quality, and outcomes. So basically, policies are just guidelines that work more towards a positive health outcome than a negative one. So it's basically just rules and guidelines that foster health outcomes that are set by either organizations or country policies. I'm sure you at least have an idea of what I'm talking about. And then we now look at environmental health. So environmental health as a field in public health focuses on examining the impact of environmental factors on human health, such as climate change, air and water quality, and sanitation. So if you look at public health, you also realize that it's an interconnected system where the environment also affects people. So public health also has that element where we focus on the environment itself. How is climate change affecting health of people? How is air and water quality affecting the health of people? How is sanitation affecting the health of people? So basically, that's it on environmental health. And then we now look at social determinants of health. So we all know that the countries are ranked into different states. We have developed countries, developing countries, and then all those rankings. So social determinants of health as an area in public health focuses on understanding how different aspects of different populations affect health outcomes. So for example, poverty. How does poverty affect health outcome? How does education affect health outcome? So basically that's it on social determinants. So when you look at public health, it's focusing on those 6 areas. So you can move on to the next slide. And then as I said, as students, we also need to know the current public health issues, because as we go out in the world, as we try to make a difference, as we try to advocate for health issues, it would be somewhat irrelevant to focus on issues that are not current in the field. So the current public health issues worldwide, generally in every country, is infectious diseases, mental health issues, health equity, non-communicable diseases, and climate change and health. So when you look at these areas, you realize that they're also related to the to the public health key areas. So that's basically it. So you realize that the current public health issues are related to the whole general public health outlook. So as students, we also need to focus more on the current public health issues, because that is what is more relevant and that is what is more outcome based, because in public health, we're mainly focusing on what is current, what is affecting the people, how do we go about that? So we need to know the current trends in public health. I didn't put more details, but this is what the outlook is: infectious diseases, mental health, climate change, non-communicable diseases such as cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, chronic respiratory diseases, cancer, and health equity. So you can move on to the next slide. So, okay, before I move on to explaining the vision, I also want to explain more on why we should know the current public health trends. So basically, understanding public health issues as students helps you to know the broader context of healthcare and medicine. And intervening, as I said, becomes easier in terms of advocacy, research, innovation, health education, among other things. So if you look at I think I included in one of the first slides, there was a cycle indicating the essential public health services with research at the center. So research is always at the center of public health. And then for us to know the right route of our research, we also need to know what the current trends are so that we're able to research in which area is relevant, in which area is current. So moving on, I've given at least an insight on public health. I would now like to explain on what the vision, or you can come back to the previous slide on the vision. Yes. So what is the vision of the Standing Committee on Public Health? So the Standing Committee on Public Health has a direction which it is taking. We're not just doing things because we are students and want to intervene, but then we have a direction, a certain target where we're reaching to. So the vision of the Standing Committee on Public Health is that medical students attain the optimal skills and knowledge to contribute to their full potential towards the making of healthier communities in their capacity as medical students and as future healthcare providers. So the vision of the Standing Committee on Public Health is that we students gain the skills and knowledge to contribute to the current trends. And even as future healthcare providers, we should be able to contribute to the world at large in the different areas that we're in the different countries, different communities. So basically, the Standing Committee on Public Health is there to equip you with the skills and knowledge so that you're able to contribute to your full potential, because it is one thing to contribute to something and it is another thing to contribute to your full potential. So basically, the Standing Committee on Public Health is equipping you with the right materials, with the right skills, with the right mindset so that you're able to contribute in the right way. And then the mission of the Standing Committee on Public Health is to promote the development of medical students worldwide regarding public health issues through international sharing knowledge, networks, project management, community-based learning, capacity building, advocacy, exchanges and placements, and access to external learning opportunities. So the vision, as I said, of public health, the Standing Committee on Public Health, is for you to gain the optimal skills and knowledge to contribute to your full potential. And then the mission is basically, what exactly will lead you into achieving that vision? So the Standing Committee on Public Health, we focus on promoting the development of us as medical students regarding public health issues through knowledge sharing. So we share knowledge on what is happening out there, what is happening in the different countries, in the different states, member states of the whole world at large. What are the projects that are happening? What sort of community-based learning can we do? Because we should also understand that we're in different places, we're in different contexts. So it's more context-based. So you also need to learn on how can you intervene at your community, at the place where you are. What sort of knowledge do you need? How can you take part in advocacy, exchange placements, and other external learning opportunities provided by other organizations or just national member organizations or the IFMSA, but in different regions? For example, in the United States, in Africa, in the Asia region, how do we all come about? So basically, the mission of the Standing Committee on Public Health is for us to link together, both at the mind level where we share knowledge and activity level where we're able to engage in project management and capacity building, advocacy all together. So this far, I hope you're following. And we can move on to the next slide. So the objectives now of the Standing Committee on Public Health. So the objectives are more or less like a more narrowed focus on the public health issues. So the first objective of the Standing Committee on Public Health is disease prevention within our society, because public health is more about eliminating disease. Unlike in a more clinical setting, we're more focused on treating the disease, you see. So public health focuses on preventing diseases within our societies. And then we also focus on health promotion. Our focus isn't only to prevent diseases, but we're also trying to promote health and education within our societies concerning health issues. And then we also look at raising awareness about global health issues within medical students and our society. We also look at advocating for health policies, since we are the voice, we're the future of the medical field. So we, from a young stage, from the academia stage, we need to know how to advocate for health policies. We need to know how to develop policies. We need to know how to raise awareness on global public health issues. And the other objective is more focused on developing skills and knowledge of medical students as the future healthcare professionals. So beyond the skills, the knowledge that we gain in class, there's more skills that we need to get equipped with as medical students. For a simple thing could be communication, because public health is more focused on communities. It's more focused on the whole world at large. So you need skills, interpersonal skills. You need skills that are not taught in class for you to also prosper in the field of public health, for you to actually know how to maneuver around the field of public health as a student and even as a healthcare professional. So the Standing Committee on Public Health gives you that opportunity to develop skills and to learn, gain knowledge about health issues. And then the other objective of the Standing Committee on Public Health is working as an international team and collaborating with external public health organizations to use the potential of over 1 million worldwide medical students. So as medical students, we know that we have the potential to change the world, but sometimes we need an external factor to harness those skills that we have, to harness the knowledge that we have. And so as a Standing Committee on Public Health, we also look at collaborating with other external public health organizations. For example, the World Health Organization also has a say of public health in it. So we also look at collaborating with those big organizations. And then we also look at collaborating with just other countries, international teams, so that we're able to work together. Yes. And then the last objective is collaborating with other fields of medical education, human rights, and reproductive health. So as you all know, the IFMSA has different fields. It has different standing committees. There's Standing Committee on Public Health, there's Standing Committee on Reproductive Health, human rights, and all those standing committees. So the Standing Committee on Public Health also focuses on collaborating with those fields, collaborating with the human rights, because also human health and human rights are related. Reproductive health is also a major issue in most of the countries. So we also look at those areas. Yeah, you can move on to the next slide. Yeah. So the International Federation of Medical Students Association has key focus areas that the Standing Committee on Public Health also focuses on. So the first one is on communicable diseases. The second one is environment and health. The third one is health systems. The fourth one is mental health. The fifth one is health, lifestyle, and non-communicable diseases. So as you look at these focus areas, you realize that they're related to the key focus areas of the public health. So that's to show you that the Standing Committee on Public Health is in line with exactly what the field of public health is. And it's not just there to just let us go and explore other things, but then it's more related to what the current public health issues are. And the key areas are exactly the same. So I just wanted to point that out, that the Standing Committee on Public Health, as proposed by the IFMSA, has the same focus areas as the international key focus areas of the field of public health at a global level. So on the same focus areas, as a national member organization, for example, Pakistan, your approach to these focus areas has to be more context-based and has to be current. So by context-based, what I mean is that, first of all, you make a difference from where you are, from the place where you are, from the country where you are. So because we're in different regions, you see that different countries experience different health conditions. They experience different burdens of health, different burdens of diseases. So for public health, and even as students, your focus has to be context-based. You have to look at, okay, what is happening in my country? What are the disease burdens in my country? What are the issues that are troubling the healthcare system in my country? And then as you make a difference in that small community, you realize that it's transcending to each and every single area, because big differences start with small, tiny differences in this context that one is based in. And what I mean by current, I think I already explained at the beginning that you have to focus on the current healthcare issues, on the current disease burdens, on the current things that are happening, because that is what is affecting people. So that's your target area. If there's an outbreak of a disease, that's your target area. You either go into research, innovation, or just looking at how you can intervene into that situation. So keep it in your mind that as you go about into public health, your focus has to be context and current. Yes. And then on the same, you realize that the World Health Organization has put forth World Health Days. We have the World Tuberculosis Day, the World Mental Health Day. So those are also your chances to advocate for what the World Health Organization is advocating on. So you also look at that. What are the current days that are, for example, this is immunization week. So you look at stuff like that and say, okay, how do we intervene as a national member organization? How do we intervene as students? What role do we have? And as you look at the World Health Days, it's already structured. Most times they give you the theme. It already has the theme. It already has the main focus area. It already has the motto. So your role as students is just to take the target area and then advocate for it first in your context, and then you come in into collaborating with other countries, and then yes, you can move on to the next slide. And yes, this one. So the IFMSA target area, one of the target areas of the IFMSA, which is our affiliate organization, is capacity building. So in capacity building, the standing committee is mainly focused on giving you skills and knowledge on how to go about. So each of the standing committees in the IFMSA has its own capacity building go about. It has its own training, it has its own programs. So for the Standing Committee on Public Health, there are trainings for capacity building provided by the IFMSA. And this activity is called Public Health Leadership Training. So we have this Public Health Leadership Training, and this Public Health Leadership Training isn't specifically for leaders only, because with the activities in IFMSA, there are broad activities where you just register and then you get to be part of it. And then there are the ones that are specific to the, let's say, national public health officer or local public health officer. But this public health leadership training is for everyone, for every medical student that wants to make a difference in the healthcare system. So it's something that you can enroll in so that you get to have your capacity built up and you get to know which areas to actually focus on as a student. And then these trainings are offered during the IFMSA General Assemblies, the regional meetings, the sub-regional trainings. You know, we have different trainings, we have different workshops where these trainings are offered. And then aside these trainings that are mainly from the IFMSA, we have other activities that a national member organization is encouraged to carry out. So for example, the way it is, the Medical Science Association of Pakistan, you have your own capacity building programs that you can carry out as an NMO or as SCOF in that. And then you carry out those activities to build capacity in the students, you know, to build capacity, to raise awareness, to advocate for health issues. So aside that, the national member organizations, we also have international member collaborations where a national member organization can collaborate with other countries. So for example, you know, countries that are within Africa can collaborate, countries that are within Asia can collaborate, countries that are within the US region can also collaborate and go about capacity building programs, which is even better because when it's a collaboration, it works better because you're able to get the perspective and you're able to have a wider view of what is going on, and you're able to gain skills that maybe in your own context you can't have access to them. So inter-animal collaborations are also encouraged by the IFMSA. And then we also have other SCOF unique sessions like the training public health trainers, the public health leadership training, as I mentioned, and advocacy to policy training. So which basically trains you on how to move from advocacy to policy and then to implementation. So that's it on SCOF unique session. provided by the IFMSA and different national member organizations. So you can move on to the next slide. You can move on to the next slide. Hello. You can move on to the next slide. Is it network issues?
I guess there is connectivity issue from claim side, so it will be sorted in a minute or so. Yes, now.
Okay. Oh, okay. So moving on, what are the opportunities for you? Why should you join SCOF? Why should you be part of the public health? What's there for you as a medical student? Because I think sometimes we feel like we can't make a difference, or feel like maybe we should first finish medical school so that we're able to get into the field better. But the IFMSA and SCOF has opportunities for you. So the first one is public health exchange programs. So this is an exchange program that is a collaboration between the Standing Committee on Public Health and the Standing Committee on Professional Exchange. So these public health exchange programs are basically an approach that focuses on exposing students to different organizations, to different things in the world of public health. So we have fields where you can get an exchange program with a hospital or an organization or a non-governmental organization or a government organization. So I have more details on that in the public health database. I've put a link in the slide, so I guess it will be shared. But basically, that's it on public health exchange program. So you get to have a feel of what public health is in the hospital setting, in the community, in the government sector, in the non-government sector. But there's a protocol that you follow for you to do that. You have to sign with the IFMSA, you have to write a proposal, the internship forms that you fill so that you get enrolled into a public health exchange program. I think the first one that was run this year, the application is already good in, but there'll be another one in June. So yeah, I guess that would be an opportunity for you to enroll in one. And then we have activity enrollment. So as the Standing Committee on Public Health, in your MSA, you carry out different activities. You carry out outreach programs, you carry out advocacy programs. So those activities, they have to be enrolled into the IFMSA system because that is important for you, because once those activities are enrolled, they get to be part of the world at large. So for example, I'll give an example. Let's say you've done an activity in a rural setting, a community setting. If you enroll that activity and it gets accepted into the IFMSA, it will now become part of a larger field. It will now become a worldwide thing because it has been enrolled into the IFMSA system. So whenever you have activities going on, you have to make sure that you enroll them into the IFMSA. And then we have sessions and workshops. There are different sessions and workshops that are organized by the IFMSA, that are organized by different countries, that are organized by different organizations that relate to public health. So the IFMSA also has its own workshops and sessions where you can join in, where you can register, and then be part of a community where you're gaining skills, you're gaining knowledge, you're gaining exposure, you're gaining, you're being in a field where there's a sense of belonging, where there's a sense of hearing, and you're all focusing on the same thing. So we have those sessions and workshops for you, different opportunities. And we have those regional meetings where you get to be part of it, whether online, whether physically. We have, at the annual general meeting, we also have sessions where you can register to only attend the SCOF sessions. So when you register, you get to also learn more on SCOF, the current things that are happening in SCOF and everything else. And then we have community outreach and advocacy. So as I mentioned, I think this is more NMO based because it's now the focus of the MSA to say, okay, what activities are we going to do? What community outreach programs are we going to do? So this is more community based. But on the advocacy, as I said, that it's more easier when you have a wider approach. Let's say you just get attached to the World Health Days that are happening on the international platform, World Health Organization. So it's very easier for you to advocate for the things that are current, as I already said. And it's very easier for you to focus on the days that are happening in that moment. So for advocacy, I would say that it's easier. Advocacy is like the easiest thing that you would ever do in this as a SCOF member or as SCOF. That's the easiest thing you could ever do, because community outreach is also part of advocacy, yes, but it requires more activity, it requires more resources. But for advocacy, you can do it online, and with the technology digitalization, it's very easier to advocate for health issues. So this should also be your target area as a medical student, to say, okay, what health issues am I focusing on? What health issues can I advocate on? What are the current trends that should be tackled? So that's it on outreach and advocacy. And then the fifth opportunities for you is leadership roles in your national member organization or in SCOF. So basically, this is just me trying to tell you that, you can join the SCOF in your MSA. You can take different roles. The secretary, you have publications, you can take different roles. But even if you don't take a role, it's being part of SCOF isn't merely about having a position, but it's about what you want to do. It's about what difference you want to make. So it doesn't really matter whether you have a leadership position or not, but just being part of it gives you a lot more opportunities. So it's just a matter of you being active. It's just a matter of you advocating for the right things. It's just a matter of you being present and being in the moment to say, okay, what is happening right now? So that's it on leadership roles in your NMO, or just being active. Yes, that's what I would say. And then moving on to the last slide. So there's also a public health advocacy online workshop. So this is a new innovative SCOF workshop, which is a 24-hour online training on public health advocacy and external affairs. As I said, public health is more focused on advocacy, especially as we are students. It's easier for us to advocate for health issues and external affairs. So this online workshop aims to capacitate and equip national public health officers and SCOF heroes with relevant advocacy-related soft skills, tools for establishing and managing partnerships, developing national policies, coordinating delegations and external events, and promoting advocacy on a daily basis. So you see that this program is basically about advocating, the skills that you need to advocate, the national policies that you can be in line with to advocate, especially in your country, the delegations and external events that you can be part of to advocate for health issues. So advocacy has to happen on a daily basis, because health issues don't take a break. Like, it's every day. So you also have to advocate every day. And this isn't only about being or having something, a large event or something like that, but it's merely tiny bit of steps that you do on a daily basis. So that's advocating for public health. So for this public advocacy online workshops, all the details are in the public health database. You can find literally, there's everything for you there. So I guess at least you have an overview of what it's about, and then you can go on to learn more on it. And moving on to the next slide, the last slide. So these are the resources on public health. I included these links for you to access the material. So the public health database has the SCOF resources and toolkits, the regulations, it has workshops, it has opportunities, enrolled activities, and everything else that you need. And then I also included the public health exchange manual so that you also get to check it out and see where you can intervene. But whatever it is that you need to know about SCOF, whatever procedures that you need to know, let's say on how we go about on workshops, opportunities, or enrolling activities, you find it in the SCOF database. So you can just open the link and then you find folders there that are encompassing all the information that I've talked about. So that's it on understanding community on public health. And the last slide, yeah. So the last slide says a healthy population is a nation's greatest wealth. So that's for you to keep in mind. And yeah, join SCOF and be active in it. Thank you very much.
I highly appreciate our worthy speaker for such lovely and interactive session. If anyone is having any questions, feel free to ask or drop in chat. Now we have a 5 minute session, energizer session. So over to you, Sabi.
Yes, hello, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sabir from SCM Skillsy, and yeah, we're gonna have a little activity to get you all refreshed. So yeah, let's get started with that. So the activity we're gonna be doing is called two truths and a lie, and I'm going to be randomly selecting a person to type like three sentences about themselves in the chat box, and everyone else will have to like uh, you know find out one of those that is false. The other two of them will be true. So yeah, I'll go first. All right. Number one, my favorite author is Kafka. Number two, I gave the MD thrice, and number three, I used to be in LUMS before I gave the MD. Yeah. So yeah, which one do you guys think it is? Type in the box. Now the last one, it was a typo from my side. I gave the MD twice. Yeah. No, no. Wait, let me edit it. All right, now we're set. Yeah, you have to find a lie, one lie from these three. You all have 30 seconds before I reveal the final answer. Interesting things we're seeing. So you all think it's three, huh? And most of you think it's two. Okay, so you all seem to think Franz Kafka is my favorite author. All right, now I'll reveal it. Yes, Franz Kafka is my favorite author, and no, I didn't give the MD twice, so it's two. And yes, I used to be in LUMS before MBBS. Surprise, surprise. So yeah, okay. Now the second 30 second. Let me see. Hmm. Ishal. Yeah, you have 30 seconds to type three sentences. One has got to be a lie, and two have got to be truths. Mhm. It's Ishal's turn. Yeah, she's typing probably. Let's be patient for a little bit. Facial time's almost up. It can be anything at all, okay? Anything related to you. Okay, in the meantime, guys, how many of you like expected that uh, I'd not be at LUMS? Like, I see a fair amount of threes here. Why did you all think that? What was the main reason? I need a reason for the threes here. Yeah, sure, Laiba, you can be the next one. I think Ishil had like disconnected or something. Hey, in the meantime, Fiza, why did you think it was three? Like, what was your thought process? All right, Daud. So, you're a first year student. You attended all the sessions of CB Fest, and you're a student of BUMHS. Mm, it looks like a first one, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It does look like the first one, but the second one is highly unlikely because I don't think anyone besides a few people, the main core committee attends all the sessions. I think it's two. Oh, it's one. I was the only one to like say first and Laika too. Yeah, great. Okay, if anyone else has like can share their sentences, then they can. Yeah. One's gotta be a lie and two gotta be truths. Hey, okay, Manu, you love music, you love cats, and you love black coffee. I'd go with black coffee. Number three. Who doesn't love music and cats, right? I'll go with three too. Wow. Why don't you love cats? Next one, Saiba. You like painting and music, your hobby is sleeping, and you're an international student. Hmm. I'll go with three. Okay. Right now we're replying to Laiba, and after this we'll reply to Ishil, alright? Yeah. Alright. Laiba, reveal the correct one. Some things you all have been coming up with. I mean, when I started to think about things about myself, I just went blank. I couldn't. So, Laiba, what about it? Ah, three is a lie. See, I told you. Okay, now, Ishal, you live in Rawalpindi, you're a third year student and you write poems. I'll go with three here. There are like three threes, four threes, and one one. So, Ishal, what's it gonna be then? Right. So, Arup is the last one for this activity, and like, yeah, we will shortlist everyone on the basis of that. So, next in line is Fiza. Yeah, you can play violin, you can juggle, and you know how to ride a bicycle. I'll go with juggling. I mean, it's pretty darn difficult if you ask me. Everyone is like in it for juggling. So, Fiza, what's gonna be four people for juggling? Wow, damn, it was juggling. Okay. Nice. So now Arup, you like spicy food, your favorite fruit is a banana. You don't have any pets. Hmm. I'll go with three. I mean, I mean, I don't know. I'm getting that a vibe from you that you'd have some sort of a pet, cats or parrots or anything. Yeah. So we have got spicy food and don't have any pets. We have more for the pets one though. Number three. Yeah. It's one whole damn. Okay. So you don't like spicy food. Interesting. So guys, that was our session and I hope you all are refreshed now and yeah, that was it. Enjoy. Over to you, Eamon and Zaira.
Okay. Thank you everyone for sharing your valuable insights and expertise during this COF 101 activity. Your presence and engaging session greatly enriched our learning experience. We appreciate your time and effort. Now it's time for a group photo. So everyone please turn on your cameras. You guys have 1 minute to do so. Turn your cameras. Okay, we'll be taking a group photo now. So Adil,
Just a minute.
okay.
सो यहाँ पे जो है ना कोई ऑनलाइन शो नहीं हो रहा, मसला ये, और इसकी पिक्चर शो नहीं हो रही। लेट मी।
Adil, are you up?
यस, बस कुछ बंदे सॉरी आए हैं सामने, सब नहीं आ रहे।
Everyone, please turn on your cameras.
जो है उनकी तो पिक्चर होगी क्लिक। ठीक है।
Adil, दोबारा ले लें please.
ओके, मैं दोबारा लेता हूँ। इनकी क्लिक हो गई है।
चलें, ठीक है. Okay, I guess we should end up here. Thank you, Miss Maria, and thank you everyone for joining. So we are going to end meeting now. You all can leave.